Hello, today we are here with Ruth Dugdall. Hello, Ruth.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Jane.
Hello, we're here at Slaughter in Southwold. Yeah, it is called Slaughter in Southwold.
Yes, there hasn't been much slaughter.
No,
yes,
no. There's been some laughter.
There has
which
been
is the rhyme of slaughter.
Well, it's not really.
It's an I rhyme.
It's an I rhyme.
It's an I rhyme. Anyway, so we've been here, Jane and I have been here for the 2 days weekend, and we've heard some great, brilliant authors and listened to some scary stories, and yes, not so brilliant authors, but we have got a brilliant author with us today, and that is Ruth Dugdall. So very, very good welcome to you, Ruth, and glad that you could join us. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about your books and about your writing. And before you leapt so gracefully into the world of writing, you used to be a probation officer.
I did.
So how has that kind of influenced your work and what you write about?
Oh, hugely. I mean, it really has. Probation officers never appear in crime books.
No.
You hardly ever see them, do you? And yet, probation officers know criminals better than any other profession. Better than, your psychologist or your police officer even.
Yeah.
Because you're part of their lives. My clients, I used to do home visits, and I'd be visiting them for 2 years sometimes. I know what their dog's called, I know what they've got on TV when I turn up. And so I think that when I became a crime writer, I took to it that knowledge of criminals. That's something very much that was useful.
So you can climb into their heads,
yes,
and get inside their psyche and that kind of thing.
Personally, that's why I read crime. I want to know about the criminals. I'm not interested in
trying to work out who's done it, or
I want to know who's done it and why, like you say.
Exactly. It's the ripping open of the skull, isn't it? I used to say to the clients I worked with, you don't know why you've done what you've done, and neither do I, and it's a mess in front of us, and we're going to untangle it together. And that's what we try and do. And so as a writer, I'm starting with the mess, and then I'm untangling it as the book goes on.
So can you clarify for me, what exactly is the role of probation? Is your role as a probation officer to try and rehabilitate criminals after they've been released from custodial sentences?
So it is that too. Every prisoner has a probation officer, but you also work with people as an alternative to prison.
Okay.
And if you're something like a lifer, you're going to have a probation officer all your life. So we work with different levels of crime, but we always work with the guilty. So a probation officer's job is never ever to get into, did you commit that crime? In fact, if a probation officer started to do that, they're not doing their job.
Yeah.
So actually, there you are working with the criminal, and it's about how do we make sure you don't do this again? So you have to understand why they've done it. Your job is definitely not to excuse the crime. I always used to think, I'm here for the victims. And if ever I forget that, I need to reread the witness statements. But a lot of people think probation officers are tea and sympathy.
Yeah.
That they're on the side of the criminal. I think that's just because you get to know them so well that you end up where you seem to be on their side. They might even feel that you're on their side. But really, your end goal
is advocating for the victims. And,
yes.
And
making sure there's no more victims.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you look at I would say the lighter side of life in your book.
Yes,
murder and child abduction, and one of my favourites, cannibalism.
Indeed.
Do you think there's any topic that you won't ever touch?
I don't think so. I don't think, if I'm interested enough, I'll be willing to go there. I'm interested in bizarre stuff. I'm definitely interested in, like my cannibalism book, it's based on a real case, the one of Armin Meiwes, the German cannibal killer, who actually killed a willing victim. So I'm interested in that idea, that you advertise for somebody to be killed. And in Armin's case, loads of people applied.
I remember that. And nobody could believe kind of what was going on. Who would put themselves forward?
I have discussed that particular case on numerous occasions, and how you would actually make it legally binding, and what kind of, could you actually draw up anything that said, this victim is willing, has offered themselves.
So that's not murder, is it? That's not murder.
Fascinating.
I think so. So I'm interested in weird cases. Weird ones will attract me, and that's why the Shannon Matthews case interested me. The mother Karen saying my daughter's been kidnapped when in fact she knew all along what her daughter was. It's the bizarre ones, or the ones that are unusual. So I think there's nothing for me that's off limits now.
No. So has everything that you've written been inspired by actual real events?
Yes, I think actually all of my books have. So Humber Boy B, inspired by the case of Jamie Bolger, the sad murder of Jamie Bolger.
Horrible,
Because I then worked on the prison unit with children who'd committed murders. So it was natural I'd write about that. And I mean, the latest one is also inspired by a real case, but not a big case.
Yes.
That's the difference. It's a smaller case that I heard about on the TV and decided to run with. A girl whose sister has been attacked and left brain damaged, and the police are closing the case. So she's going to find out who did it.
To what extent do you research the cases that your books are based around and use those details? And to what extent do you take the case as a starting point and then let your imagination fill in the blanks and go with it from?
I think the former, actually. I think I do a lot of... I spend a lot of time researching those cases. You know, the Bulger case, or Mariah Martin, like my first book, or Shannon Matthews. I'm really researching all the details because I'm trying to get an insight into that kind of case, that kind of criminal, and then I fictionalise it so I can do what I want with it and nobody can say, well, you've messed with facts. I think you liberate yourself calling books a fiction, but at the end of the day, like with the Mariah Martin book, the James version, I'm actually saying what I think happened to Mariah Martin. But if anybody says, well, no, that isn't, well, it's fiction.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So you can get away with things, I think, in the crime field, more than in other fields, maybe. You know.
We've seen a few authors this weekend who have written series of books, and all of yours seem to stand alone. Is there a reason for this? Do you not like series, or do you kind of get bored by the time you finished a book that you don't want to carry it on? Or
I think it's because I'm always in the head of the criminal. That's something my books, that defines all my books, actually. First person narrator, usually in the head of the criminal. So actually, each book's a different case, it's going to feel completely different. So although I have got a probation officer through 4 of them, a police officer in this one is in the next one, actually they're not really the main characters.
No.
And that's a lot of crime books, the police officer is the main character.
Because they call it that series, they're DCI so-and-so series, aren't they?
Yeah, so I mean, you could call them the Kate Austen books, but actually they're more about Rose and Alice, you know, the head of the criminal. I think that's why they feel standalone.
Yeah. Not that I'm saying that's a bad thing or anything, but it just seems crime writers tend to write series of books that take this one character and lead through, but yours are like, open the case, see it through, close it kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think you could definitely read them, there's no order.
No.
So I do quite like that.
Yeah.
No. And I don't know that I have where I'm going next, which I also like, because I feel like I've got my ears open and anything could sort of inspire me.
Well, yeah, if you see a weird crime or something on the television, or you hear about it, or read it in the paper, you've got to, oh, that could...
Whereas if you're doing a series, you've got to much more be aware of the relationships, haven't you?
Yeah.
All of that's got to continue on neatly.
So out of all of your books, and how many is there? 12,000 of them?
6.
Which did you most enjoy kind of getting your teeth into and writing?
It was The Sacrificial Man.
It's a brilliant book, absolutely brilliant book. It's terrifying that really existed.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I was... I think you're the only person, because we sit in the audience and obviously we listen and think about maybe asking a question and then don't. And you are the only writer that was up there that I thought, oh, I want to ask Ruth, which is her favourite baby? And and you just asked, so, which is interesting.
Well, no, because they are all standalone, you've almost got like your individual... individual books,
They're all got their own personality.
Oh completely.
But for me, The Sacrificial Man I don't talk about as much. If I'm doing talks, I can talk about all the other books. In fact, even today, that was the one I don't think I mentioned.
Which I was quite disappointed about because I really enjoy it. Yeah.
And I know that it's not the one that's going to be a crowd pleaser. But for me, it was completely... I love the idea of it. I'm interested in that cannibalism idea. Yeah. And I was not on a timetable. I didn't have a publisher. So it's very much written to what I wanted to write. So, that's the one I'm particularly pleased with, or particularly proud of, I suppose. It's my favourite child.
Yes. Don't tell the other books. Don't listen. Don't listen to other books. So do you tend to read things similar to what you write, or do you kind of think, okay, I've written a really harrowing, dark and horrible story, I'm just going to read some fluff now?
I don't often read fluff. No, I read lots of crime books, and I love reading. I mean, at the moment I'm reading The Hunger Games again because it's just so brilliant. The Handmaid's Tale, which is on TV tonight, I read that every year.
Oh, amazing.
Secret History, I read that every year. Books that are
Is
brilliant.
that Donald Hart?
Yes.
Okay.
No, you didn't get into that.
Well, I read the first one, Little Friend.
Oh, The Little Friend is not so good.
Yeah, I
think.
didn't get. I find it quite laborious.
Yes, but The Secret History, oh my.
Okay.
And Gillian Flynn is my favourite crime writer. So I reread hers, but I also read stuff that's very contemporary and is out just now.
Yeah.
You know, I'll keep an eye on what's about. So I'm not like one of those writers that says, oh, I can't read other crime books because I don't want to be influenced. Actually, I see it as a community, and I want to know what's going on.
Well, it seems like from the festivals that I've been to that crime writers all kind of, they're all friends, or they seem to be friends. You kind of all feed off each other.
Actually, when you put a toe into the romantic novelist world, like as we've spoken to Jane Wenham Jones, they're all like a big bunch of. They're a little bit more bitchy. They're a bit like the sort of the girls, the popular girls at school. But it does seem that the publishing world is quite cliquey, and obviously I'm on the very edge fringe of children's writers, and they're very sort of it's like a gang. So it's like but crime writers seem to have
they're
lot
lovely.
of fun.
They're friendly. I mean, I'm definitely not there's definitely an establishment group, which are with, I would say, the big 5 publishers, and they're in the Sunday Times. That's not me, because I've come through a different route. Yeah. You know, I'm a state-educated girl, I'm a probation officer. You know, I've come through writing without any contacts, and I think that makes the difference. But I know there are other writers like me, and we know it when we meet each other.
Yes.
You know, and that's quite interesting, I think. But yeah, crime writers are very nice to each other.
Which is quite strange because their minds are so twisted. It's just fascinating.
We go to Chipping Norton Literary Festival every year, and Mark Billingham runs the quiz. And he's great. He's so funny.
And you kind of think you're committing all these murders and these horrible things in your head, and then you can walk past these people in the street, and it's like, oh, cheery and happy and everything.
Yeah, it's like they get it out of their system. Yeah. So cathartic. And I've heard that about romantic novelists. I have heard that they're like,
No, that's absolutely brilliant. Well, thank you ever so much, Ruth, for talking to us. We are running out of time. And just quickly before we go, what's next for you?
Oh, well, I've just finished my 7th novel. It's called Innocence Lane. And this is about another bizarre phenomena. People who commit crimes and then say they were asleep. Have you heard of this?
Yes. Oh, yes.
So it's about sleepwalking murder, or is it? And also set in Suffolk.
Oh, brilliant.
So,
and do you know when that one's going to be out?
It'll be out next March.
Brilliant.
Superb.
Oh, well, I look forward to that one because I like those things. It's like, how do you believe or disbelieve or disprove something like that? How do you say that someone's not asleep? Because I'm a sleepwalker.
I am too.
So
and I can quite believe that you could do something in your sleep.
People walk out into the street, don't they?
They drive, they cook meals, they have sex while they're asleep. Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah, so that sounds fascinating. I'm asleep and that's it. I'm gone.
I'm looking forward to that.
Fascinating, and the brain, the things that goes on, the drives in our psyche is just fascinating. So
very exciting.
Thank you. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Ruth, and all the best for the future.
Thank you both.
Thank you.